What's going on, everybody? King of Dragons 5000 here, coming at you with another figure review. Today we'll be having a look at the Hasbro G.I. Joe Classified Hasbro Pulse exclusive Serpentor and his air chariot. And so here we have Serpentor pose and out of the packaging. Before we take a look at the figure, let's actually run through what he comes with. Serpentor does come with two different hoods. He does come with a single piece hood. Then he comes with a hood that does allow for articulation in the head. He also does come with two versions of his wrist blade. We do have a shortened wrist blade, and then we do get an extended wrist blade. He does come with his Cobra staff, which really looks nice. I like the detailing on it. He does come with his Cobra sword, which also has a really nice handle. Then he comes with two different snakes. We do get a little green snake, and then we get a King Cobra. His final accessory is, of course, the air chariot, which he is on right now, which we'll have a better look at in a little bit. But other than that, Serpentor doesn't come with any other accessories. So with that out of the way, let's have a closer look at the air chariot and Serpentor. And so here we have a look at Serpentor's air chariot, and it's a really good sculpt and design by Hasbro. They really did a good job on it. I really do like this overall vehicle. It looks very good. There's a lot of nice details on it. If we can just have a look at the head first. It really is a good Cobra sculpt. That is a very nice sculpt, and I do like the fact that the mouth does hinge open. The teeth also hinge back, and then there's also a little gun in there, so I do like that. You can hinge the teeth back, but I prefer them to be out all the time, just because I think that's a much better profile for the Cobra. It looks really nice. I really like the gold paint that is going through his belly right here, which looks really nice. And then we do have his little scales right there. I overall like this design. You can see there are some molded parts into it. When you take it out of the box, there is some assembly required. You have to connect the control panel, the Cobra head, these fins, and the machine guns. But other than that, it's really nice. I do like the turbine here. It actually spins, which I think that's really cool. Most times when they do this, they just sculpt it and you really can't do anything with it. But yeah, I do like this. You can see there's some paint apps. We have the King Cobra emblem right here. And yes, it's a King Cobra. You can see the little crown right there on top of the Cobra emblem. The rivets are done very nicely. You can see some decals right here. There's even details on the bottom. We have that same King Cobra logo. Then we have panel removal. Now, it's not a real panel that you can remove. It's pretty much just what you would put on a machine, so you can get access to whatever parts are in here. The hydraulics are somewhere in here. It's just an overall really nicely designed, and there's a lot of nice features to it. Although the features could be a little bit better, this gun unfortunately doesn't want to stay in as good as the other one. I've already tried putting it in all the way, but this one just seems to come out really easy. I might have to try to thicken that peg, but yeah, I really do like this. It's a very good vehicle, and I like the fact that Hasbro was able to give us a Serpentor with his air chariot. I don't think it would have been Serpentor without it, so yeah. Oh, one more thing before we move on to the figure. These landing feet, they actually do hinge inward. Now, they aren't the easiest to get. I had to take a small screwdriver and kind of pry them out, but yeah, they do work as landing gear, but you really don't need it. It kind of sits on its belly very well, so yeah, overall, liking the air chariot and how it came out. So with that out of the way, guys, let's actually move on to Serpentor. And so here we have a closer look at Serpentor, and I think Hasbro has done a really good job with this figure. Now, there's a lot of things they could have done differently, but for the most part, this figure is done very well. I do like the fact that they included two different versions of his hood. As you can see, I do have him with the one-piece hood where it connects to his back and to his head. The one issue I have with that is it kind of makes the figure always look up, and it doesn't really want to sit all too tight on the head. You can see that the hood wants to rise up. I might have to heat that up with a heat gun, hold it in that position just so that it stays there. But yeah, there is a noticeable gap when you have his head in there. It should be a little more flush, but yeah, it's not. It's probably just because of how long this piece has been on there, but a little bit of heat will solve that. As far as the head sculpt goes, that is a very menacing head sculpt. This guy means business, and I really do like that Hasbro is able to give us Serpentor. I really do like the color of his outfit. We do have this almost flat gold that his costume consists mostly of. And then we do have this really nice gold paint, and then he does have these silver fangs painted on his Cobra hood, which those look really nice. I do like those. Then we do have his neck, which it is two-tone. You can see it has that same dull gold, and then it has this really shiny metallic gold. So I do like that. On his chest, you can see he does continue the snake motif, where we have two snakes wrapping around his chest, going over his shoulders, and those look really good. They even have the scales in them. These Cobras look very nice. I'm very impressed by the amount of detailing on him. Here on his suit, you can see that he has a lot of snake scales, and that is very cool. I really do like this look. He even has like the belly part of the snake right here on some parts of his costume, and then we have more of that snake pattern. As I said, he does come with two versions of his wrist blade. We do have the shortened blade right here, and he does come with an extended blade as well. Really do like the gold fingers that he has right here, and just the overall feel of this character. It looks really nice. It almost looks like he has a cobra head on his hand, so that's really cool. Having a look at the back of the figure, he does have a cape, which we'll talk about that in a little bit, but you can see it does continue the snake motif where it looks like the back of the head of a cobra. So really liking that. They absolutely nailed the look of this figure. You can see he has another, I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be a cobra as a belt, but yeah, it does look good, and it is done in green. We see some more of that snake belly right here on the side. Very nice detail here. The paintwork on him is pretty clean. On mine, he seems to kick off to one side. I've tried putting him in a neutral position, but his lower torso right here always seems to either kick off to the right or to the left. It doesn't want to stay neutral all the time, so that might just be on mine. It might be a reoccurring issue. I don't know. I haven't seen any reviews on Serpentor yet, so I really can't compare mine to others. But yeah, and as far as the detail work on him, it is very well done. The scales are done exceptionally well. Hasbro really outdid themselves here. I do like the paneling on his armor. Then we go on to his boots, where they continue the snake and cobra motif, where we have the, I'm pretty sure those are supposed to be cobras wrapping around his boots. And we have the snake belly right here going on to his boots, which also look really nice, and that continues the snake scale pattern as well as the belly on the back. So yeah, overall really nice figure, and I do like the fact that they included a soft goods cape. Now, one thing I love about this cape, it actually has a pattern to it. You can see the snake scale pattern on his cape, and it is very, very nice. One thing I kind of wish they did, a wireframe. If they had put a wireframe in this cape, you would be able to pose it really nicely. But yeah, it's still really nice that it's a soft goods cape, and you can adjust it as you want, depending on how you want the back of his hood to be. If you want it closer to his body, you can do that. So yeah, overall Serpentor here is a very, very good figure in terms of detail, and I do like it. So with that out of the way, let's actually get Serpentor compared to other figures you may have in your collection. And so here we have Serpentor posed next to a Marvel Legends Cyclops and a DC Multiverse Superman. Here we have Serpentor posed next to a WWE Elite Scale figure and a Mezco 1/12 Collective Popeye the Sailor Man. Here we have Serpentor posed next to a Lightning Collection White Ranger and a Star Wars Black Series Mandalorian. And for one final comparison, here we do have Serpentor posed next to a G.I. Joe Classified Cobra Commander and Duke. So with the comparisons out of the way, let's actually move on to his articulation. Now, Serpentor does have a ball joint here at the head. Now, if you have him with the separate hood, you do get articulation out of it. He can look up and down really nicely. He can tilt his head side to side as well as turn left and right. If you have him with a single piece hood, you don't get this articulation. You mainly just have him looking in one way. So yeah, depending on how you want your Serpentor, depends on how much head articulation you're going to get. I am going to keep mine with the double piece here, that way he does move around nicely. But yeah, head tilt works fine. He does have a ball joint in the neck, and that does rotate a little bit, so you do get rotation at the neck as well as at the head. So really good joint there. I just kind of wish it gave him a little more range, and that a little more range never hurt any action figure. He does have butterfly joints here in the shoulder, but unfortunately you really don't get too much movement. That's about the full limit of their range. They go forward and back slightly. As far as out to the side, he does hinge out to about right there. He does go all the way around, no problem, although you do want to be careful because you can snag his cape in that, because the way it's designed, it's kind of how they design shoulder pads now, where it's just wedged in between the shoulder and the butterfly joint, so do be careful with that. He does have a bicep swivel, which works fine. He has a double bend here at the elbow. Now, unfortunately on mine, it's very stiff at this joint. This joint moves just fine. This one moves very, very stiffly, and with my finger the way it is, it's very hard to move that joint. And then it does swivel and hinge at the wrist. Unfortunately, he only has a horizontal hinge, no vertical hinges on any of his hands, which is unfortunate. As a break from tradition from G.I. Joe figures, he does have a ball joint here in the torso. No abdomen crunch. It's a ball joint which does move side to side, swivels, goes forward, and back to about right there. Then he does have a lower ball joint which does lean back to about right there, does lean forward to about right there, does rotate as well as pivot side to side. He has drop down hinges in the legs which really don't drop down all too much. They do drop, actually they do, I guess mine was just stiff, but yeah, kicks out to the side very nicely, goes forward to about right there, goes back to about right there, swivels at the thigh. As far as his knee goes, I think these are really stiff. Let's see. Oh yeah, really stiff knee joints right there. I can't even get that second joint to move. Let's see on this side. Yeah, it works, but I'm putting a lot of pressure on it, so do be careful with it. He does have rotation here at his boot, a hinge in the ankle that doesn't really go too far forward. It goes back really nicely though. And then of course we do have forward facing pin for rocker ankle. So overall, Serpentor here has some pretty decent articulation. It's not the best that we've seen, but he is a much bigger figure than your average G.I. Joe classified figure, so there is that. So yeah, really do like the way he came out. His joints are just really stiff, and with my hand the way it is, it's very hard to move stiff joints. So with that out of the way, guys, let's actually get Serpentor posed for my final thoughts, and then we'll wrap up this review. And so here we have the G.I. Joe classified Hasbro Pulse exclusive Serpentor pose for my final thoughts. And overall, Hasbro's done a really good job with this figure. Now, there are some issues on mine that I don't think they're universal, they just might be mine. The left machine gun does have a tendency to pop off really easy, and that's unfortunate because the right one pegs in really good. The left one seems to wobble up and down. It is fixable, but yeah, it's a little bit annoying. And then as far as the figure goes, he has a lot of really stiff joints. Now those will loosen over time. One of his joints, his waist joint, I had to hit with some shock oil because that felt like it was going to snap on me. So yeah, overall Serpentor here is a good figure if you put quality control aside, because it is going to vary figure to figure. I really do like the fact that we were able to get his air chariot. It looks amazing, and it's a very good centerpiece. If you're a G.I. Joe fan, this is one centerpiece I think would be good in any Cobra collection. Just the amount of detail that they put in it is very good. I like the detailing on his outfit. One little nitpick I have is that his cape is not a wired cape. If they had made it a wired cape, this figure would be so much better. But I love the detail throughout him. The scales look really good. I like the fact that you can choose between which hood you want to have him with. The one that's a static hood that keeps his head in one position, or the two pieces where you can actually get his head moving. I do like those options, and if you prefer one over the other, you have the opportunity to put either one. Overall, Serpentor here I would think is a must-have for any G.I. Joe fan. Now the only problem with him is that he is a Hasbro PulseCon exclusive exclusive, meaning he was available for the PulseCon pre-orders, and then he wasn't available after that. Yeah, they did put him up for a sale a little bit after that, but other than that, he's really hard to find, and he's a really expensive figure. I already saw a lot of eBay listings putting this guy at like $180, which is insane. That's $100 more than what I paid for mine. I did get mine from Hasbro Pulse, and I was lucky enough to pre-order mine, so I did get him for the $80. Now, I think his price was like $70, but after taxes and shipping came out to about $80. So yeah, you are looking to pay about $80 if you got him from Hasbro, but if you're getting him second market, yeah, he's already marked up to about $180. So yeah, do take that with a grain of salt if you are going to pick this guy up secondhand. He's a really nice figure, and he's towers over most of your G.I. Joe figures. He's probably the biggest one we've gotten. But yeah, if you're a fan of G.I. Joe, this is a must-have for any G.I. Joe collector. Now, it is unfortunate if you're getting into the game late and you weren't able to get this guy. That does suck, but at least second-hand market, you can at least find him. Maybe for a good price if you find him on a good day. So yeah, be on the lookout, and if you need Serpentor, definitely add him to your G.I. Joe collection. With that being said, guys, I'm KingofDragons 5000. Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel. Go ahead and check out all my other action figure reviews, as well as all my other G.I. Joe videos. Hopefully you find them informative. As always, if there's a figure you would like to see me review, let me know down in the comments, and if it's in my collection, I'll gladly have a look at it. While you're at it, check out my Instagram account for new and exciting action figure photos, and as always, ring that bell to be notified anytime I upload a video. Until next time, guys, I'll see you later. Take care, everyone.